With Clone Wars Season 7 Episode 12 wrapping up the Clone Wars series, many of us still have one massive question. What happened to Barriss Offee after the Clone Wars Season 7? I'm going to break down everything we know about Barriss Offee after her trial by Tarkin and the framing of Ahsoka, along with some incredibly interesting theories about her fate after the Clone Wars. So before we dive deep into it, remember to subscribe to the channel to be notified as soon as I release more incredible Star Wars content. At the moment, only a tiny 3.1% of you who are watching this are subscribed to the channel, so if you do enjoy the content, let's try to get that number just a bit higher. After Barriss Offee was caught for the framing and exile of Ahsoka Tano from the Jedi Order, she herself was brought to trial. The man in charge of this trial was none other than Grand Moff Tarkin, who at the time held the rank of captain within the Grand Army of the Republic. As Barriss's trial began, she was dragged into the Republic courtroom by two Jedi Temple guards with luminous yellow lightsabers. One of these two Jedi Temple guards eventually went on to become the Grand Inquisitor, who we saw in Star Wars Rebels becoming inspired to turn against the Jedi Order by Barriss's actions. Despite participating in an evil act against the Jedi Order, the Grand Inquisitor was able to see Barriss's message, which revealed the arrogance and flaws of the Jedi Order. This is the last time we see Barriss Offee on screen, so what exactly happened at her trial and where did she end up? The first possibility is that Barriss was given the same trial as Ahsoka was given, with the same punishment being sought by Tarkin. Because of the extreme circumstances of the crime committed at the Jedi Temple, Captain Tarkin requested that Ahsoka be tried under the military courts of the Republic instead of a traditional Jedi trial. This would mean that the punishment could be significantly harsher, even including the death penalty. If it is the case that Barriss was given a similar trial to Ahsoka, she likely would have been found guilty and handed the death penalty. If this is the case, that would be the end of Barriss Offee's story right then and there. She would not have witnessed Order 66 or been able to become an Inquisitor. The next, more interesting theory is that Barriss was simply handed a punishment of life in prison, which would mean that she would be stuck in her cell in either the Republic prisons or the Jedi Temple during Order 66. If this was the case, she may have used the ongoing chaos of Order 66 to escape her cell and go into hiding. Adding further onto this, if she did in fact survive the events of Order 66, she would very likely be the first target on Darth Vader's kill list. For the absolute betrayal of his former apprentice, Darth Vader would very likely want to slaughter Barriss immediately after his turn to the dark, and give her the same fate as Count Dooku. Even if she wasn't able to escape from her cell in the events of Order 66, Vader would have likely travelled to her cell and slaughtered her inside. Another really interesting theory is that Barriss became an Inquisitor for Darth Vader and the Emperor. Again, because of her betrayal of Ahsoka, which hurt Anakin immensely, it would be unlikely that Darth Vader would be willing to forgive her actions. Despite being against the Jedi's involvement in the war, it is a bit hypocritical to become an Inquisitor, who are dark side force users that caused more pain and suffering than many of the Jedi did during the war. I did see a lot of people saying that the seventh sister was Barriss Offee because they are the same species and look very similar, but unfortunately we have confirmation that this is not true. While we do know that she is not the seventh sister, it is still possible that she will feature as an Inquisitor later down the line in future Star Wars content. Following that, we have some confirmed information from Dave Filoni directly. In an interview with IGN, Dave Filoni stated that Barriss Offee had definitely embraced the dark side of the Force, even if only slightly. This could lend credence to the theory that she is an Inquisitor that will show up in future Star Wars content. Filoni also went on to confirm that Barriss had been convicted by Captain Tarkin's trial, but not given the death penalty, disproving the first theory. This means that Barriss is very likely still alive at this point, unless of course she was sought out and killed by Vader. Dave Filoni also confirmed that there are future plans for the character of Barriss. We could potentially see Barriss Offee appear in the upcoming Ahsoka show, which is rumoured to be airing on Disney Plus very soon. Maybe she will try to gain the forgiveness of Ahsoka for her actions, or maybe she will hold on to a grudge against her for the events following her capture. It's possible that the two could face off in a duel similar to the one with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Maul on Tatooine from Star Wars Rebels. Other than that, I think the theory that Darth Vader immediately hunted her down and killed her is the most likely because of the hatred and anger he would have for her. But let me know what you think happened to Barriss Offee after the Clone Wars, and whether or not you would like to see her in future Star Wars content. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to the channel to be notified as soon as I release more awesome Star Wars content. You can also support the channel on Patreon using the link in the pinned comment down below. Thanks again, Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.